In the first dawn, the ancient lion rose from red earth, carrying borderless memory, reminding all beings the world was never divided. With turquoise breath, he gazed beyond horizons, sensing elephants, sharks, and migrating birds bound together by one unseen ancestral spirit. Each paw step echoed treaties older than nations, where survival was a shared vow, written not in law, but wind. Across deserts and oceans, the lion felt guardians working silently, hands joined across cultures, protecting paths no border could claim. He remembered a time when rivers guided alliances, stars marked passage, and every creature traveled freely beneath one sky. The lion's mane carried songs of elders, teaching that protection begins when humanity listens, not conquers, the wild. As borders hardened, the spirits whispered, reminding keepers everywhere that nature's roots ignore flags, fences, and fear eternally. Following migrating wings and flowing currents, the lion learned cooperation is survival's highest form, older than any crown. Where humans chose unity, the land healed, animals returned, and the lion's shadow grew longer with hope again. Thus the lion walked still, crossing every frontier, reminding the world that Earth is one body, and all lives are veins. Beyond borders drawn by hands, the lion sensed ancient roots where elephants remembered water, and humanity once followed rather than ruled. Through dust and salt wind, he heard sharks singing deep oaths, guarding oceans that no empire ever truly owned. The lion understood balance was never local, but global, woven through currents, migrations, and promises older than language. He watched humans from afar, some building walls, others building bridges of trust across lands, seas, and generations. Where cooperation bloomed, the spirits awakened, guiding protectors to act as one body, one breath, one purpose. The lion's eyes reflected shared responsibility, teaching that saving one species requires honoring the paths of all. Across mountains and coastlines, guardians exchanged wisdom, not weapons, learning that unity preserves what power destroys. In these moments, the lions were softened, becoming a prayer carried by wind to every willing heart. He saw that borders fade when courage replaces fear, and stewardship becomes a sacred duty, not a choice. Thus the journey deepened, as the lion led by presence alone, reminding Earth that survival begins together. As stars shifted above him, the lion sensed elders watching, approving each alliance forged beyond flags and fragile pride. Elephants crossed invisible lines, their footsteps echoing lessons of memory, patience, and cooperation written into the land. Above them, migrating birds stitched continents together, proving freedom survives only when paths remain open and respected. The lion bowed to these travelers, knowing leadership means listening to every voice carried by wind and tide. Humans who followed learned humility, discovering protection begins when ownership ends and reverence takes its place. Across councils and fires, stories replaced commands, and shared myths became treaties stronger than ink or stone. The lion's shadow stretched across oceans, where sharks circled calmly, guardians of balance beneath restless waves. Each species moved as one rhythm, teaching Earth itself how harmony outlives division and fear. From desert to reef, a single truth emerged: life thrives when borders dissolve into responsibility. The lion walked onward, carrying this truth forward, preparing hearts for a future bound by care. As dawn returned, the lion felt humanity awakening, slowly remembering ancient vows whispered by rivers, reefs, and migrating skies. Children listened first, sensing truth beyond maps, hearing the same call that once guided ancestors across open worlds. The lion paused, watching hands plant trees together, not to claim land, but to heal shared ground gently. Every alliance echoed deeper than borders, awakening spirits who guarded balance long before nations learned names together patiently eternally. The lion's mane glowed turquoise at dusk, symbolizing unity forged through respect, sacrifice, and shared survival for all beings. Across seas and savannas, guardians coordinated silently, understanding Earth listens when actions align with spirit together globally always. The lion moved without haste, trusting cooperation grows slowly, like roots crossing unseen boundaries beneath soul everywhere quietly. From these roots rose courage, teaching humanity that protection is strongest when shared, never owned freely respectfully together. The lion lifted his gaze skyward, as birds completed ancient circuits, sealing promises between continents again peacefully forever. Thus the world breathed as one, guided by the lion's silent oath beyond borders, beyond fear, together eternally now. At the horizon, elders gathered, recognizing the lion not as ruler, but as reminder of their forgotten responsibility. Through shared rituals, nations softened. Learning protection begins when listening replaces command and dominance, guided by ancient wisdom together humbly. The lion walked among them silently, each step blessing agreements and seeing yet powerful enough to reshape futures collective. Oceans mirrored this unity, as sharks swam and bound, protected by choices made far above waves by distant guardians ashore. Elephants crossed ancestral paths again, memory guiding feet beyond fences humanity finally chose to dissolve together consciously at last. The lion watched migrations align, understanding movement itself is prayer, stitching lands into one living story without borders. Night fell gently, stars approving silently, as humanity stepped closer to guardianship rather than ownership of Earth together. The lion rested, knowing balance survives only when courage chooses cooperation over fear repeatedly across generations worldwide enduringly. So the tale closes, not ending, but opening paths where every species belongs to Earth, never nations alone. And the lion remains eternal, reminding all souls that one Earth lives only through shared protection beyond borders.